A local monastery is helping Central American migrants seeking refuge here in the United States. It was all part of the plan for the empty Benedictine Monastery in Midtown, but the steady flood of migrants arriving in the United States forced them to open up the doors early. News 4 Tucson's Tanel Confair got an inside look at the shelter.
On Tuesday, ICE dropped off around a dozen migrants seeking asylum at the Benedictine Monastery in Tucson that turned into a shelter over the weekend. Volunteers that run the shelter check each member in, provide a health screening, and offer food, clothing, and a room for them to rest.
Like you saw, and as the doctors have seen in the past, is we've had people dehydrated, feeling sick, ill, just exhausted.
This mother has one volunteer doctor at the shelter taking a look at her baby, who seemed to be dehydrated and very hungry.
Here we're very fortunate to have about a group of doctors volunteering and coming when the families are dropped off to give that medical treatment.
The monastery is leased by Catholic Community Services, which hosts migrant shelters throughout Tucson, meeting the demand for the growing number of migrants coming here for a better life.
This is one of the rooms in the monastery that will house a migrant family for 1 to 3 days.
This shelter is ran with the help of dozens of volunteers and donations, but more help is still needed.
Right now we're doing orientations twice a week. Like I said, the last one was 67 people. That's not nearly enough for how much we need to get done.
He says the shelter can house an upwards of around 80 people a night, and they plan to receive at least 20 people a day. If you'd like to volunteer or donate, we have a link on our website at KVOA.com. I'm Tanel Confair, News 4 Tucson.
A former school crossing guard was sentenced this morning for crimes against children. Billy Cruz was sentenced to 2.5 years in jail, followed by 15 years of probation on the sex offender caseload. Cruz pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of a minor and attempted sexual exploitation of a minor charges. The former Marana Unified School District crossing guard was arrested after Pima County Sheriff's deputies uncovered files containing disturbing images of children. None of the crimes involved students in Marana. And a man accused of killing 3 people in Phoenix has pleaded guilty. 38-year-old Michael Lee Crane entered a plea agreement for the 2012 killings of Phoenix businessman Bruce Goddett and Paradise Valley doctor Lawrence Shapiro and his wife Glenna. The agreement calls for Crane to serve 3 consecutive life sentences, and prosecutors must drop their effort to seek the death penalty. He will officially be sentenced in March.
An effort is now underway in Douglas to recall the mayor. The group behind it says Mayor Robert Uribe has caused unrest in City Hall, but he is defending himself against those claims. News 4 Tucson's Aliyah Shahid has our story.
Some Douglas residents want their newly elected mayor out.
He's not the same humble person that I voted for. He fooled a lot of people.
TANYA DUARTE is spearheading the effort to recall Douglas Mayor Robert Uribe. That effort requires a minimum of 569 signatures to trigger a recall election.
There's too much division in our community, and one of the biggest reasons is the way that the mayor has acted towards people and the way that the council members are disrespected by the mayor.
But Uribe is strongly denying these allegations.
I don't have anything to hide, I'm willing to show them whatever they want to see.
He says there has been a lack of communication and people are misinformed about his actions as mayor.
Right now, I am honestly in the process of hiring my own personal attorney, because I am not going to let this